Patricia Ann Boyd was born on March 17, 1944, in the quiet town of Taunton, Somerset, England. She grew up in a family shaped by the realities of post-war Britain, where her father, Colin Ian Langdon Boyd, served in the Royal Air Force. His career meant the family moved often, sometimes even living abroad, giving Pattie a childhood filled with constant change. This early experience taught her adaptability, resilience, and a calm confidence that would later become her trademark in the fast-paced world of fashion. After her father left the RAF in 1953, the family settled back in England, and Pattie became the eldest sibling who naturally took on responsibility and care for her younger brother and sisters. Even after her parents separated and remarried, expanding her family to include step-siblings, Pattie's close bonds and emotional strength grew stronger, preparing her for the complexities of life in the spotlight. A star is born in London. After finishing school in 1961, Pattie moved to London in 1962, right as the city was exploding with youth culture and creativity. While working as a shampoo girl in a salon, she caught the eye of someone from Honey magazine who suggested she try modeling. That suggestion changed everything. Within months, Pattie's striking beauty and effortless charm propelled her into the fashion world. She quickly became one of the most recognizable faces of the early 1960s, appearing in Vogue, Vanity Fair, and other leading publications. Her look, fresh, natural, and modern, helped redefine beauty for a new generation. Alongside icons like Jean Shrimpton, she represented a shift away from old-fashioned glamour toward a freer, more liberated style. Her fame skyrocketed when she appeared on the cover of British Vogue, cementing her status as a defining face of the era. From fashion to film, meeting George Harrison. Pattie's life took an unexpected turn in early 1964 when she appeared in a TV commercial directed by Richard Lester. Impressed by her screen presence, Lester cast her in A Hard Day's Night, the Beatles' first feature film. It was there that she met George Harrison, the shy guitarist of the world's biggest band. Their chemistry was immediate, and soon she was swept into the whirlwind of Beatlemania. Her modeling career flourished as she became more visible in the public eye, landing more magazine features and becoming known as one of the most glamorous women connected to the Beatles. Yet beneath the glittering surface, Pattie was learning what it meant to live in the constant glare of fame, the glamour and the pressure. As Pattie's star rose, she began writing a column called Pattie's Letter from London, giving American teens a peek into the city's fashion and music scene. But the attention wasn't always positive. Jealous fans sent hostile letters, and George urged her to stop writing for her own peace of mind. Instead, Pattie turned her energy toward business, opening a boutique with her sister Jenny called Jennifer Juniper. The shop became a hub for artists, musicians, and models, reflecting the vibrant culture of 1960s London. Even as her career continued to grow, Pattie's life was increasingly shaped by the intense world of celebrity surrounding her. Love in the eye of the storm. Pattie and George married on January 21, 1966, during the height of Beatlemania. Their wedding was a quiet ceremony, but the public attention was anything but. In the early years, their life together was filled with creativity, friends, and the heady excitement of the era. Their home became a gathering place for artists and musicians, a symbol of the era's cultural revolution. But as the years passed, the pressures of fame began to strain their relationship. George became deeply drawn to meditation and spirituality, searching for peace that fame couldn't provide. Pattie tried to follow him into that world, but often felt like she was being left behind, watching him change into someone she struggled to understand. The emotional distance grew, and their marriage began to feel fragile. When love begins to drift. As the late 1960s moved forward, Pattie's life became increasingly complicated by George's deepening spiritual journey and the growing presence of another man, Eric Clapton. Clapton, a close friend of George's, fell deeply in love with Pattie, and his unspoken feelings inspired some of the most famous love songs of the era. Pattie remembers that time as confusing and heartbreaking, filled with silence and emotional distance. Rumors of George's infidelities added to her pain, and she began to feel that the marriage had lost its soul. Despite her love for him, she eventually realized that staying meant losing herself. Leaving and finding forgiveness. By 1974, Pattie made the difficult decision to leave George. She later described the moment as one of the hardest of her life, but also necessary. She still loved him, but she needed to find herself again. Their divorce was finalized in 1977, but Pattie always spoke of George as her first great love. Even after their separation, they remained in contact, and over time, their relationship evolved into a quiet friendship. "We forgave each other in the end," she says, "and there was no anger, only gratitude for what they had shared." When George passed away in 2001, Pattie mourned deeply, realizing how profoundly he had shaped her life. A new chapter with Eric Clapton. After her marriage to George ended, Pattie found herself drawn to Eric Clapton. Their relationship began under emotional strain, and Clapton's intense love for her was both intoxicating and overwhelming. Eventually, they married in 1979, but their life together was marked by turmoil. Clapton struggled with addiction, and the instability took a heavy toll on Pattie. She later spoke openly about the pain of living with someone battling substance abuse, despite moments of tenderness and brilliance. Their marriage ended in 1989, but the songs he wrote for her, like Wonderful Tonight and Bell Bottom Blues, kept her memory alive in rock history. A life of stability at last. After years of intense emotional turbulence, Pattie found peace with Rod Weston, a property developer she met in the early 1990s. Their relationship was quiet and grounded, far from the glare of fame. They were together for nearly 3 decades before finally marrying in 2015. Pattie has often described Rod as her anchor, a steady presence who helped restore calm and stability to her life after years of living in the spotlight. Finally, speaking her truth. At 81, Pattie Boyd has chosen to speak openly about her relationship with George Harrison. For years, the public only knew fragments of their story, romantic headlines, famous songs, and iconic photographs. Now, with the clarity of age, she reflects on their marriage honestly, without the need to romanticize it. "I adored George," she says, "but being married to a Beatle was not a fairy tale." She describes the marriage as often lonely, confusing, and filled with contradictions. She remembers how George's spiritual journey left her feeling like an outsider, and how the pressure of fame created silence between them. A love that lasted beyond the marriage. Even though their marriage ended, Pattie's feelings for George never fully disappeared. She acknowledges that he was flawed and searching, but also deeply human and spiritual. She doesn't deny the pain, yet she honors what they shared with tenderness and respect. When she hears his music, she feels as if he is still speaking to her, and she accepts that love doesn't always last forever, but it can still shape who we become. In finally telling her truth, Pattie Boyd reminds us that behind every legend is a real human story, full of love, loss, forgiveness, and the quiet echoes of a bond that defined an era.